Hey guys, it's me, Mr.250, and welcome back to Umineko. After finding ourselves in a strange room with a working phone, which was in fact actually not working, we're now, I guess, back to square one. And, I don't know, there's something about that phone that just seems weird to me, like... I don't think it was just there to give them hope, like, I feel like it had some other purpose. Unless the purpose was to give them hope and then crush it with despair, in which case they need to talk to our other game about some fun. But anyway, we're going to continue on from here and I guess see what they're going to do next. I'm curious. I want to know what's going on because it all just seems very exciting to me. Kyrie let out a deep sigh, leaned against the wall, and hung her head for a while. As severe a girl she was, for a brief moment she might have actually had the naive hope that the phone could actually work. She sneered at herself mockingly for holding on to that naive hope even for a moment. And then, she remembered just what was happening here. Honestly, regardless of having been shown such a thing right before her eyes, or rather, exactly because of that, she still couldn't think of that gruesome mass murder as something real. Rather than that she couldn't believe it, it was that she didn't want to. Ushirimiya Kinzo killed 6 family members. He summoned strange witch-like demon people right out of thin air, which we, totally overlooked and didn't think too much about. And with something like magic began to kill people one after another. It's just all so screwed up. Even though she definitely saw it, there was no way she could accept that spectacle. Yeah, the grandpa's friends, he brought all the strippers over. But when those 6 had their heads blown apart, a golden arrow had flown around and around the room. That had truly looked like magic. Was that another thing we just saw wrong? There's no way it was magic. It was definitely some kind of setup. Magic's not real, Kyrie. Since those heads were smashed, there's no doubt it was some kind of explosive. For example, a styrene toy plane like they sell at candy stores painted gold. And with a powerful explosive... Good lord, that's dark. I mean, not that this wasn't dark, but that's pretty dark. However, at a glance, it had seemed to be flying at random. But Kyrie couldn't imagine that after being fired 6 times... each time it perfectly hit the victim square in the head one after the other. It couldn't be that there was a computer control system for finding and hitting targets, which could make it a high-tech styrene plane on the same level as a guided missile, right? I don't know. I mean, see, normally, for almost everyone else in the world, you'd say no, but for Kinzo, maybe. I wouldn't put it past father. A number of mysterious people appeared out of thin air. 6 people had their heads demolished by a mysterious golden flying object. The 5 of us were locked away in a mysterious dungeon by a mysterious set of pitfalls, or else put to sleep by some fainting poison dart. The family conference had started a bit after... what is that? 10? Yeah, 10. It's only been about 30 minutes since then. Probably, even though I witnessed it myself. Since that event took place in such a short amount of time, I still can't understand it. And I still can't come to grips with it. For argument's sake, even if we did get a hold of the police, it would probably be impossible for anyone to accurately explain what we saw, regardless of having just seen it. My brain's fried and I have no self-confidence even in what I saw myself. Kyrie tried her hardest to cheer herself out of her overwhelming confusion, to just hold on to her sanity. Cross started to become desperate, hitting the hook multiple times, resetting the dial. Cross had also been feigning composure, but he was unable to hide his panic. The more he retried the dial, the more pretense of serenity peeled away. I don't know what's going on anymore. Kyrie couldn't help but pray that the events that had just occurred were a dream. At that time, the look on Cross's face changed. Oh boy, we get the good music again. What did you do? Like, what did you do? Try to keep that in mind, we might need it. I mean, like, I get what you're saying, but what are you gonna do? Tell the kids to call the police? Well, I guess they don't know that the lines are cut either, do they? We don't even know if they are necessarily at this point. I would imagine all outside contact is now cut at this point, considering that the magic has started, so to speak. My only thing I could possibly see them doing of use is trying to call the children. I mean, yeah, just tell him don't get near Grandpa. He's crazy. He needs to be on his meds. Safe isn't the word I would use, but not dead. That's a better word. Hey, how's Mom? Your mom's fine. Don't worry about her. She's on a vacation. Cross choked on his words. Cross had clearly seen Natsui's head crushed and had seen her killed right before his eyes. Eventually, he was going to have to tell that to Jessica. However, Cross began to fret over whether he should tell her now or not and lost his words. But even that was an answer under these circumstances. Jessica's voice was filled with tears. There was no doubt for Cross anymore. When Goda and Kumasawa had met them at the guest house, Jessica and the rest had heard everything start to finish. Most likely when they learned that 6 people had been killed. They'd worked themselves into a frenzy to go to the dining hall. Luckily he had been able to call before they had stormed off towards the mansion. Cross was relieved at his good timing during such a tragedy. Yeah, you'll figure something out. He's off his rocker, that crazy grandpa.
レディーはそんな言葉を使うもんじゃない。とにかくお前たちは身の安全を最優先にしろ。ゲストハウスを戸締まりするんだ。しかし過信はできない。1階のラウンジの大窓は破られるかもしれない。その部屋にとどまりベッドを立てかけてバリケードにするんだ。その部屋にはトイレが冷蔵庫があるな。明日の朝までは籠城できるはずだ。いいな。くれぐれも物騒なことは考えるな。母さんの敵を取ろうなんて絶対に考えるんじゃないぞ。相手を刺激せず隠れてやり過ごすことだけを考えるんだ。
Now, how well is that going to work out? Because we know the last times we tried stuff like that, that just didn't happen at all. After that, Goda took the phone and was told again to watch over the kids. Goda, with his face covered in cold sweat, replied repeatedly with an overstrained "yes, yes." From there, Kyrie received the phone and spoke with Battler, and when Shannon and Cannon got their turn, George and Jessica answered. And following that, Nanjo and Kumasawa picked up as well, so that all members of both sides took the receiver alternately, confirming that everyone was safe for now, even if their location was unknown, and encouraging each other, coming to an understanding on the current situation for both sides. They wanted to talk forever, but now was not the time to chat. Cross explained that they would be hanging up for now, and those in the guest house consented. With that, the phone call ended. And the cool music stopped, unfortunately. Oh, but now we get this music. Goda and the rest of the men quickly descended to the first floor, closed the shutters, and secured the strong locks of the doors. However, just as Cross had worried, there was nothing that could be done about the beautiful wide window in the first floor lounge. If this were to be broken, it would be easy to get inside. It wouldn't be hard for someone like Kinzo, who hadn't hesitated at committing murder, to invade the first floor.
おじいさまたちは武装している可能性が高い。
His bunny
部屋に閉
followers.
じこもるのが最善かつ唯一の籠城方法になるね。自ら密室に閉じこもらざるを得ないのは苦しいところだけど、相手が銃を持っていたらそれしか方法がない。
親方様は実銃のコレクションをお持ちとの話です。そう、あれは銃だ。銃だったんだ。
Yeah, it was a gun.
だとしたら
Totally a gun.
恐ろしい威力の銃だ。
This gun that makes their heads
太刀打ちは
explode.
できません。
頭を砕くなんてすげえ威力だぜ。マグナム弾とかそういう類のやつかもな。下手な扉なら平気で貫通するかもしれねえな。
だとすればますますに部屋に籠城するべきだね。ベッドを立てかけて窓も塞ごう。そこまですればいくら銃を持っていても踏み込むことはできないはず。
くそ、そんな受け身な防戦一方しかねえのかよ。くしょうちの親父に上等を決めてくれてキリエさんまで捕まえたらこいつは高くつくぞ。クソじじいめ。
I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I haven't really had Battler's thoughts or, Battler's personality available for a while. Like, it feels like it's been so long since we've really had any time with Battler. It's kind of weird hearing his opinions or whatever.
無理です。 あんな連中に太刀打ちできるわけがありません。しかも親方様だけでなく手下も何人も。あるいはあんな連中がもっといるかも。あいつらは一体何なんだ。
Battler was filled to the brim with the urge to get revenge for Rudolph, and to rush out of here to save Kyrie. But just by looking at how terrified Goda was, there was no doubt in him that this would be reckless.
兄貴だって悔しいだろ。なのにここで籠城なんて。くしょ。
もちろんさ、僕だって悔しいよ。両親を殺されて冷静でいられるわけがない。でもだからこそ冷静にならなくちゃいけない。僕たちが無駄に命を落とすようなことを殺された親たちが望むと思うかい？思うわけがない。せめて子供だけは逃げ延びてほしいと願ってるはずだ。だから僕は生き残るよ。そして警察に通報し全てを暴く。仇は法廷が取る。それが僕の復讐だ。差し違えてでも仇を取ってほしいなんて親たちが望んでいるわけもない。そうだろう。
そうだな。兄貴の言う通りだぜ。畜生クソじじいめ。何か儀式だ。俺たちがそのための生贄だって言うなら意地でも逃げ切ってその儀式を台無しにしてやるぜ。
それでいいよ。それにバトラ君にはまだキリエさんがいる。僕にだってシャノンがいる。とにかく慎重に行動してチャンスを待とう。僕たちの不用意な行動は囚われの彼らに不利益を与える可能性だってあるんだから。
人質か。でもじい様はきっとキリエさんたちを生贄にするために捕らえたわけだろ。俺たちが助けなきゃ殺されるのを待つだけじゃないのか。
Probably.
彼らが捕らえられている地下牢がどこにあるかもわからない。シャノンもカノン君ももちろんゴーダさんも熊沢さんも知らなかった。おじい様だけしか知らない秘密の場所にある可能性が極めて高い。そんな状況下でうろうろと歩き回るのは自殺行為だよ。
分かってるよ。それでもくそ、俺たちはここで何かが起こるまで引きこもってるしかねえってのかよ。
バトラ様のお気持ちは分かりますが、ここは安全第一で参りましょう。旦那様の話では相当古い牢屋らしいので、なんとか鉄格子を破れるかもしれないとのことでした。今は信じて待つ方が賢明です。
おじい様の手下が何人もいてみんな武装しているんだよね。
ええ、そうです。そして多分みんな武装を。
Yoda had been able to say that Kinzo had comrades with him, but he had not been able to mention that they were mostly all young women, like witches, who would use strange magic to murder. If he had said that, it would only have cast doubt on his sanity. No, not only that, he himself still couldn't understand what he had seen and was doubting his own sanity. But regardless of sex or appearance, regardless of whether it was done with magic or a gun, the fact that those girls had followed Kinzo's orders and killed 6 people in an instant was an unshakable truth. If that group came to attack the guest house as well, what would happen? Just closing the doors and windows like this was surely meaningless. Goda as well as Kumasawa. The only thing left for those two who had witnessed that massacre in the dining hall was to cradle their heads without knowing how to interpret what they had seen.
熊沢さん大丈夫？お茶飲む？
ありがとうございますね。ありがとうございます。申し訳ございませんが、 しばらくそっとしていただけますか。
Maria tried to be nice, but it seemed that Kumasawa still hadn't been able to clear away her confusion.
マリア、気を使ってくれてありがとうだぜ。
Thanks for not doing that evil laugh thing that you like to do, Maria.
熊沢さんは
That would have really, like, thrown us off if you had done that. Jessica, too, was worried about the shock those two must have received after witnessing such a tragedy. But her wildest dreams couldn't have even come close to the impossible scene Kumasawa had witnessed. Nevertheless, with her mother having been killed, and her father having been captured, it's not like Jessica could stay calm either. She sealed her anxiety and sadness using her anger towards Kinzo, and walked irritatedly around the room.
熊沢さん、母さんは本当に。
ええ、あんなひどい死に方を私は見たことがありませんとも。
ひょっとするとまだ生きてて手当てをすれば助かるなんてことはないんだよな。
Oh yeah. Can you fix that face?
頭があんなことになって生きていられるわけ。
Nah, she'll be fine. Get Dr. Nanjo in there. Give her some stitches.
そりゃそうだぜ。頭が砕けちまったら手当てなんて必要ねえよな。普通。
When Goda had come flying into the guest house, he had overcome with agitation, told about the massacre in the dining hall without concealing anything. Except for the part about the witches and magic, which they themselves could still not believe. In other words, they hadn't even sugar-coated the cold-blooded way in which Natsumi and the others had died. It was too late now, but Kumasawa regretted having obviously said too much. However, while lightly shaking her head and with a slight painful laugh, Jessica spoke.
いや、むしろ話してくれたおかげで冷静になれたぜ。頭を砕かれちまったってところを伏せられてたら、私はひょっとすると生きてるかもしれないって言って、屋敷へ向かいじいさまに出くわして、ひょっとすると殺されてたかもしれない。一末の希望が命取りになった可能性だってあるわけさ。その意味では感謝してるよ。
本当に申し訳ございません。言葉をあまりに選ばなかったことはお詫びします。
今はいいよ。母さんはもうどうしようもないけど、父さんはまだ生きてる。カノン君もシャノンもキリエおばさんも南條先生もね。なんとか彼らを助けたいし、彼らに負担をかけないためにも余計なことをするべきではない。電話の前で待機してることが今は一番の協力になるかもしれないし。
There could be a phone call asking them to create a diversion while the others escaped. Or otherwise, the others might learn their location and call for rescue. Jessica understood that in order to act promptly when that time came, the only thing they could do for the time being was to wait in this room. Once they'd finished checking all the locks downstairs, George, Battler, and Goda returned. Each of the three were holding various objects. George had things like drinks, canned food, crackers, and other types of snacks that he had found in the lounge and pantry, as well as a first aid kit. It was all food that wouldn't spoil after they barricaded themselves down. Goda had a large folding ladder and carpentry tools. Those were to seal the door from the inside, just in case. If it came to that, the ladder was for escaping out the window. Battler had brought up objects which could be used as edged weapons or poles. While it wasn't a kitchen knife, there was a disassembled table leg that could be used as a club. and a pole roughly the size of a person made from a broken hat stand, which, even though it had no spear tip, could surely be used as a spear. There's a good possibility that the enemies were carrying guns, so it was dubious whether these would be of any use. But it was still better than not having them, and if those could give at least a little peace of mind, then they could count on them having some kind of calming effect. Then, the bed and the sofa were placed up against the door, barricading it. They didn't go so far as to seal it up with nails. There was still the chance that Cross and the others would escape and come to meet up. They'd apparently put a barricade on top of the stairs as well. It had been set up to create a racket, so it would work in place of a warning alarm as well. It was apparently Battler's idea. They turned the TV off, so that if the first floor window were to be broken, they would hear. Once the switch had been turned, all that was left was an eerie silence. The sound of violent wind and rain. Were they going to have to spend the whole night being crushed by such suspense? The boat would come tomorrow morning. However, judging by the weather report, most of tomorrow was going to be covered in the typhoon and the boat probably wouldn't come. The typhoon would pass in the morning of the day after tomorrow. In other words, the boat would be coming the morning of the day after tomorrow. As in, the morning of October 6th. And right now, it was late at night, October 4th. They would have to spend more than 30 hours on this island. With Kinzo turned cold-blooded murderer and his weird companions prowling about. Even with the shutters closed, there would definitely be a little bit of light seeping out. It might let the enemy know that they were hiding here. Battler suggested that it might be best to turn off the lights. But they had already been taken over by such a ghastly feeling just from turning the TV off. There wasn't anyone who directly challenged his proposal, but then again, there wasn't a single other person who agreed with it.
テレビダメなの？
ああ、悪いが我慢してくれ。敵の侵入の音を聞き逃すわけにはいかない。
つまんの。
Being alive is boring. Even though she had been told that her mother had been killed, Maria alone didn't feel an approaching sense of danger. It seemed she was quite displeased with having the TV turned off. Even though she's in such a bizarre situation, can't she share our sense of danger? Because she's so young. To Battler, even that slight unsettling feeling from such a young girl made him feel that there was something very eerie about Maria. Oh man. I'm gonna stop here, but man, actually, this is probably one of the few times that there's been adults involved and it hasn't been boring. I'm gonna blame Kyrie and Cross on that, because they're actually not too bad if they're not with Natsui and Eva and all the other annoying adults. But yeah, we'll stop here and we'll continue from here next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Umineko. Bye!